because this thing. Okay. All right, it's working. Jesus Christ Trust. I got John McCaig here, Jack, John, whatever my name is. And Martin Goman is here, Sarasota in the house. Isn't that great? So Martin asked to come over. We didn't pre-script or pre-think anything, and he's just here. So anything that comes up is good. I got a list over here. Hold on. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I got a list to talk about.
What's up, Mike? What's up, Alan?
Yeah, Mike is. Oh, Mike, you're here. You're off, but you took some time off. Martin's over here. You're missing out. What? You're such a good guy. You're always helping somebody out, even on Sunday. Mike is amazing. He really is. And then work he's doing. Oh my God, he's a godsend. I just showed Martin. I was like, yeah. So it's much better.
It's coming together though. Everything is looking good.
Yeah. We got the basics here, and they need updating. That's all. So, Mike, good to have you. Happy to hear the truth today. God bless you, John. All here, Jamie or Baba. That's sweet. Alan's here. God bless all joining with a happy day today. Jamie and Baba, praise Jesus Christ. Thank God. That's wonderful. George is here. Happy day. Bless you all, John, for his work. God bless all you three guys. You're amazing. It was something traveling with you all. Raina's here. Martin, yes. Martin. Martin. That's what I did. It's great to have him. I'm going to read these comments, and then we're going to hear from Martin. Good to see you, Martin. Alan, definitely. Hi there. Reagan is here. All right. Sunflower Girl. George. Hey, Martin. Good to see you.
Hey, George.
Yeah. West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. Here's a double West Coast here.
Well, now I'm East Coast.
Oh,
yeah, I'm East Coast now.
You're West Coast, East Coast now.
I'm both. I was born on the West Coast.
Yeah,
in San Diego.
Well, we're on the West Coast here, of Florida. That's a good West Coast.
True. Oh, okay, Florida. Yeah, true.
I'm here. You're kind of still thinking California.
Yeah.
No, but you're here. Yeah. Pam is here. Greetings, Sean. Everyone, praise Jesus Christ. Jay Baba from Didi. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Didi. Your prayers are important. Mike Smart is here. Hello, blessings to everyone. That's excellent, Mike. Good to have you. And Frank is here. Greetings, Sean, Martin, and all. That's wonderful. Like I was saying, Martin just is like, hey, can I come on over and do the show? And I'm like, yeah. So it's good to have him. And anything on your mind, anything you want to talk on, anything you have thoughts on is great.
Yeah. Yeah, I been back for a little bit, and I was just been marinating on how to spend my time. Like what is it even? Because at a certain point, once you know everything that you've said, basically, and just because you put it like everything out there, and it's like, how much more do you know after that? It's like at a certain point, and then it's like, well, what do you even do? I don't know. And at least in certain cases, for certain people, it might be more obvious. Like if you have certain obligations and duties and whatnot. But for me, I've just been trying to kind of, because one of the perplexing things, which I think, everyone who's done this has found, is that in-person interactions are like a weird thing. Like somehow it's not just, I think, the way people are created, but also the way it's introduced. Because think about a lot of people, even who are here, found it digitally somehow. Like I found it digitally, and a lot of people did. Maybe not everyone. Obviously, there are rare counterexamples, but something about people makes it so that somehow it's just excruciatingly difficult when it's in person.
Yeah, by the numbers. You mean just it's so difficult to be physically around the truth, and it's so hard to get to, and so on. If that's what you mean.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And first of all, I love that you came here to ask this question because you've already answered it in your actions. Because once you find out the truth, you're like, okay, so the whole point of this game is I'm supposed to meet with God. You know what I mean? Like you're supposed to have a one-on-one, face-to-face with God. That's the deal. You accept the truth. Okay. How do I you got to tell me how I serve you, God. Like I'm doing my best, but I need to know by look, I need an appointment. Like when are we gonna
yeah.
when are we hey, listen, if we meet, you just tell me and then we're one on one. And so that's the point where I put it on God, where you are what you're choosing to do. If I heard right through the grapevine that you're thinking about going on pilgrimage, you just you're just deciding, okay, listen, what do I don't know what to do. The most important point of knowledge, really, and Mayor Baba talks about this in this book and in a lot of places. Uh, the first element of knowledge is knowing that you don't know, and this game will get you there. At some point, no matter how smart you are, and the smartest people are here in the world. So you know what I mean? Really super smart people. And so it's like, oh, how does the dome rotate? Like you figure out so much here, and then every time you figure out something, there's just this layer of it's a
Mm,
miracle.
yeah,
Like God is right. Every time you're like, okay, I got to figure it out. And then all of a sudden it fades into, yeah, but that means it's a miracle. Like everything is like, but that means it's impossible.
yeah.
Everything is impossible and impossible and impossible and impossible. And
There's
then you're
always
like,
like a sciencey way to say it, but it's like at that essence behind it, it's like, yeah, it's just God. I mean, that's the Occam's razor explanation.
100%, 100%, 100%. That's why I pull back the curtain and say, "Hey, this is the illusion, and God is real." So these super intelligent people are like, "Well, if this is all fake, I need to meet with you like that. I don't want to stay in fake land. Send me to real land."
Mm,
And so I think you've come to the proper conclusion. Same that I did, is same that's written in every spiritual, religious text, and every lyrics of every song they sing on YouTube, and everything is saying the same exact thing all the time. Like, hey, ultimately, this is a game, this is an illusion. You have to get past it, and to get past it, you have to surrender and do what God says. Because I surrender my thoughts. Look, God, I surrendered to you. So, and that's the way of me saying I don't know what to do.
mm,
So, I don't create my thoughts. Obviously, you're in control of everything. So, you're in control of my thoughts. So, I blame you if you're not sending me the right thoughts, because I'll do the right thing. My heart's in the right place. So, I won't do the wrong thing. Whatever thoughts get sent that are, oh, I'm not going to do that. Then uh, right and wrong. Like I wouldn't choose, you wouldn't choose wrong. And so once you get to that point, it's more just you get sent it the information, and then you decide what you're going to put into action. Uh, and so then you just, I start to pray against thoughts that come to me that obviously are not fruitful on my path. I'm like, you're not allowed to send me that stuff, that I'll pray against it and make sure my channel stays clear. And so that I can only blame God, because I'm like, if you tell me to do something and it's logical, if heart and head go together, then I'm going to do it, because I the only way out of here is to serve God. So once you know everything, what are you going to do? That's why I was saying that this show today is mastery and servitude. I don't know how to get out of here, so I serve you, God. Tell me what to do.
mm, yeah.
There, it's a complete surrender. And then you absolutely have a meeting with God at some point, and then you become one with the truth, that you don't. your thoughts are, the same as exactly what God is sending you, no interruption. Even if they're not thoughts you'll act on, it'll be information like background, like what's at play here,
Right,
uh
right, right, right,
isn't she beautiful, you know what
right,
I
right.
mean? Doesn't that look interesting? Isn't that car cool? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, things that are ruling the situation that you're
Yeah,
engaged in and watching.
yeah,
Those
yeah,
are the big things at play, and you're like,
yeah,
okay, yeah, that is a play, because you're kind of like your mind's on God now and stuff. So you're still said some of those thoughts because, hey, you don't have anything to teach anyone or help anyone with unless you're still in the game here. Like, everything's still in play. It's just you're focused on who you serve, and you're only going to serve God, and
yeah.
and
Okay.
time is short.
Yeah.
So it's really becomes that simple, and that's a I'm really once you get deeply into this work, the really intelligent people, and Martin's really, really intelligent individual, you come to the logical conclusion that it's past figuring out. You're like, okay, need your help, God. Yeah,
Well,
so
in that sense, it's interesting because I like to consume different like stories. Now, even I know you make a lot of references to different shows and stuff as analogies. I find it just very helpful to understand where we are, like, and really see how. And now I'm seeing it more and more, and it's more and more obvious. It wasn't as obvious at first, a little bit. Like the Matrix is so obvious, but even every single one is the same though. It's the same. It's just written in different words. It's got the same ending, judgment,
yeah,
and it's entertaining. Yeah, but seeing how it's playing out here, it's like, yeah, trying to figure out like what is the best thing to do, and obviously helping people. Yeah, like I think that's a given, but it's like, what plays do I want to see? That's like, even just I like to show Westworld. Like, what do I do here? Like,
yeah,
what characters are gonna pop out and do
totally.
their crazy thing? And because at least it's like stimulating in that way. Like, I feel like alive a little bit if it's new and kind of interesting in that way. Although, especially as of late, it's just like, oh yeah, it's just another character. Yeah.
I, agreed. Like, you watch the dance, and said some at some point you gotta put what you know into action, like you do. You help a lot of people come to the truth, to my work, and generally to the truth, like you do that. So what? Because, oh, you're supposed to love your brothers and sisters. Well, deprogramming deprogramming them, and so that they can see the truth, is a necessary first step to escape, and
Yeah.
that's why we're here. So there's really, if you could do that well, or you do that well, uh, it's so rare to get people to cross over from their programming to the truth. It's just almost
And
impossible.
here's the other thing too that I've seen just through the statistically significant sample size of people that I've spoken to about this, is that even people who sign it, are they actually going to like be here like on this level? And the answer is probably like 1%, if that, maybe less, like, realistically. So and that gap there is like it's a massive chasm between, yeah, okay, I get out of taxes, I get a bank account, whatever, but from that, and then to that, from that to where you are, and just talking about some of these things, and it's so interesting how it's just fascinating to me, the cognitive dissonance where people are in the heartbeat community, and there's certain things right in front of their face, but there's just a veil they cannot go through unless life pulls them through, or pushes them through, because life, there's certain things that force them to do it. But yeah, even there's so many people that seem like they should want that, like, as far as what they say, like, blah blah virtue signal, but whether they actually do it or not, it's like, it's, yeah, like I don't really, I don't really go super deep past a point. I kind of like leave that to you, sort of. I just sort of send people your stuff, and I'm like, yeah, it was like listen to him, because even if I look at my role, it's like if I'm trying to optimize for what I'm good at, why would I try to do something that you've already done and that you're already really good at? Like telling people about, and of course I need to in a way. Like I don't want to lie to people. You know what I mean? But that's something that I've considered in terms of how I interact with people. Um, I don't know if you have a thought on that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, you already said it in what you said. You're like, unless circumstances push them to change, and what you're talking about is some extreme suffering. Let's be real, people don't change unless there's some suffering involved that makes them look outside of, oh, what's actually going on here? This shouldn't have happened. And then for me, it was getting foreclosed on. For different people, there are different triggers. It's always a series of things,
Mm,
but you know, it's it's hard to have this knowledge, have someone in front of you, and basically, oh, you want me to pray for you that you know you get better or something? What's going to happen? They're going to suffer.
mm,
So you pray for their suffering. Let's just be real about it.
right. Yeah.
That's, as you said, I'm not sure how you take it to another level. I do. And so, everyone in their journey to the truth, that they get it through me, at some point they're like, that guy's the devil. He's not Christ, he's the devil. That's why Mayor Obama is like, what do you want to call me? You want to call me Christ, or you want to call me the devil? Which one do you call me? Like, it doesn't matter what you call me, I'm just who I am. It's just the first game winner, and we're all playing the same game. It's not important what my name is, by the way, at all, but you get the program connotation with it, because you try to bring somebody to the truth, they are like, oh man, if they only knew. And then if your heart goes out to them, and they are from asking from their heart, oh hey, I actually want to know, and they can't know because their programming has them just locked in the matrix, well, they're going to suffer then for like tomorrow, or as they drive away, or whatever. uh
And when I asked the question earlier, like, what do you do with your time? I was also referring to this paradox where if it's really like you're interacting with someone and it's really like that, where there's some kind of like mental thing where no matter what proof they see, no matter what pieces can add up, even over time, like consistently, it's and again, there are counterexamples. That's why it's like you still have to act in a way that I think is always I don't know, somehow it's just always like not always, but it's just you gotta decide like who you want to be there for and who might be worth it in the sense that maybe yeah, if you just be there for them, maybe they'll do something at some point
you're
in terms of the trust,
constantly
like
you're
particularly.
constantly weighing and learning yourself. Like the cross is, it's it's a scale. You're judging, how do I spend my time, on
Mm,
whom?
yeah,
And you can see it wasted a lot of times, and then you learn lessons from, oh, that was a waste. And that's why I had on a list of, couch fairy mentality to talk about today. Like, you're always, if you as you go to the truth, you always attract, if you're a woman, the most eligible dude, and whatever. If you're a guy, the most beautiful women are going to show up, and you're like, where did you come from? And you're like, right before you have, wait, I'm going on pilgrimage. It's like, the apple of your eye, and the perfect dream, everything is going to show up right before you go see God. It's like, if you veer, like, you don't think everything in the kitchen sink's going to get thrown at everybody. You got to overcome this world.
yeah,
That means, and they read your mind,
yeah,
and they your heart, everything, and they watch your actions that have for lifetimes. You're so exactly known to make the perfect line in the sand where you're gonna trip. Probably. Are you gonna get back up and be like, God dang it, just did that? Like, each plane of knowledge is like redoing the steps of your life, and there's only so many clever employees they have here,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
so you're just given, well, hold up, uh, like, I don't know if you're playing Donkey Kong or something, like there's always each level you have to go through, and the end difficulty you have to overcome is even harder than the next one, uh, and then you get the truth and you actually meet with God. Then you got to go play the Donkey Kong all again. You're like, wait a second, I just met with God. I thought the deal was like Donkey Kong is over. Did we have that agreement? And then you find yourself back in Donkey Kong. You're like, wait a second, and you're kind of like, why do I have all this knowledge and nobody wants to hear it?
Mhm.
Like it's there has to be a lighthouse to the truth here. There has to be a certain amount of light equal. Everything is equal in here. The light outweighs the darkness by so much, and there's going to be so few places, but they'll all be known, the places to get the truth from, because they have a high mind.
Yeah.
They It's only them you're going to interact with almost forever. That's why I was like, yes, Martin, come on over. Hi. Like human. What? So it's so rare. And so we're here, we know the truth, and they serve us until we know the truth. You're like, what, this whole thing's a game? And you just did it so I know the truth. Oh my God. Why am I still here? That's we have to meet with God. That's about karma, past and present. So you got to. I know the truth, and so it's like, yeah, you know the truth, but are we still going to catch you? You still want to? You still want this really nice looking, fishing lure? Are you going to
Yeah.
bite?
Yeah.
Are you going to bite
Yeah.
though? You have to go. Come back and play again. Don't bite. Walk by all the stuff. Don't bite, and then they're watching you like he didn't bite this time. They are successful. You're now praying for them. Hey, thanks, I made it. Uh, you're the beauty at the end. Like, dang, man, I'm irate. Way to go. You're a beauty. Give me five, girl. Get out of here. Go have some fun, but not with me. Bye. Like uh they just, thanks. I don't want those millions of dollars like I thought I did when I was young. I just want God and the truth, all the things they have for us on the way to God. So you get the truth. You're here in service of them in a way. If the switch flips and we remain and we show them what they should actually do, you all should flip your switch too. But they don't. There's a rule in here. If you can read minds, know your previous lifetime, if you play that character in this game, it's simply not fair that you could win this in a turn. You have to get your memory wiped. You have to play. God is fair. You're saying God isn't fair. I bet with God. God had made a time loop. God is so fair. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna. That's an obvious rule. That's totally out of bounds. No, it's like saying karma is not real. No, karma's real. So if you're playing as a Disney character, they know they can't get out. You follow me? So if you're getting to try to get them this lifetime, they know they can't get out.
Mhm.
So, but can they or can't they?
Yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm trying to, in certain
It's a
cases,
miracle.
yeah, exactly. It has to be miraculous, no matter what. But and it can. I've seen it, and even through other people, I've seen people do this. And and I'm trying to quantify like what variables behind that. But it's sort of hard. It could be in a lot of different types of situations where and yeah, family, like immediate blood family sometimes, but not often. It just depends. It's very like
Super rare,
yeah, yeah, it's
honestly.
rare. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a miracle.
Yeah.
Just a miracle. Another
I mean, it's a
miracle.
miracle to do this in the first place.
It
So,
is, and so
it's
you're
just
asking to double a
yeah,
miracle in a
yeah,
family.
yeah.
It's just okay, but those things become possible. Same with crossing the line with somebody who had their memory hasn't had their memory wiped. Can they cross? Well, God is as severe and tight as the rules are in this game. God has compassion. If you're playing from the heart and you're not playing from the rule book and you're not a character anymore, you play from the heart. That's what God was right there. They don't have a heart. They're playing from their character. If you switch over and play from your heart, you have a chance to win the game. And no one on their team has a heart that is playing that way. We operate from the heart. We learn the truth. Every time we meet with God at a certain level and ultimately have a face to face, and then our heart grows as we do that and accepts more knowledge and truth and the ability to carry it out in action form, and God will watch over us, and ultimately you'll make it to the end. That's our service to them. We're the ones with the heart. You should be doing this. You don't die. You don't, all the things you worry about over there don't happen to us. Every time it's the same. Why aren't you switch over? And ultimately we're their servants getting them to switch over.
Hmm.
We become the servant. You see, mastery and servitude. They were serving us, so we got the truth. Now we got the truth. We serve them by showing them this is what you should do if you had a heart over there. You see, and then your slate gets wiped clean. No more reincarnations. Won the game. I'm home, everybody. Uh, you're back home with God. That's the way the game is played, and you don't come back, and they're like, man, he left. So that's what they're left with. Like, man, he left. Oh, keeps leaving. So that push, that impetus of our success keeps the ranks headed forward in the spiritual hierarchy of life. You look at it like, oh, it's evolution and then evolution, but it's just, to me, it's like a spiritual hierarchy. Like, I'm not going to go kick a dog because that's just a dog. They're part of the spiritual hierarchy. They have to go through all the forms and everything. And, hey, hope you make it down there.
Yeah.
Try not to bite anyone on the way. Okay.
I was considering something, like there are different drops in the ocean here, kind of fractalized of God. And if you make it out of here, because it's timeless out there, then isn't there a time when every soul in here like gets back to you, sort of without a veil?
Well,
In theory, like
I mean, it's this is where we get into the land of paradox, because once you meet with God out there and you realize the only place that time is happening is in here. It doesn't happen out there.
okay.
To God, once you have God consciousness here, you're linked up with that information, a way of existence that God has. You simply look back and you see this bubble and you look at it like, oh, that already happened. Like, to God, this is all completely played out 100%. It's already completed to
Yeah.
God,
Okay.
because time doesn't exist to God. But to us here, it's absolutely, we're not experiencing that in any way, shape, or form. We're not, totally not experiencing that.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's what really, one of the things that eliminates, because what you were talking about before, this is really important. You're saying you have the information, but what you're talking about is you need the experience next. And the experience is meeting with God, because somehow meeting with God, you become one with the truth. And like, I talk about a 64-year time loop, and like I just talk about who I am, the character play, and all the other characters, because I know. I didn't read it in a book somewhere. You meet with God, and then you're like, oh my, whoa, you just know. It's hard to process it because we're in duality, and you're trying to process the singularity that is everything that is God, and they don't go together completely,
Yeah.
because there are paradoxes built into that,
Yeah.
because of because God makes paradoxes possible. Honestly, that's why. Because they would.
Yeah. Yeah.
they're
Definitely.
they're not
Yeah.
possible, but
Yeah.
God makes them possible. And just that paradoxes can happen like that. God is beyond us knowing. We can't know God. Like, it's not even possible. So you're like trying to know yourself, and you're like, oh, one with God. And you're like, you're unlimited. There's no limits, but we are limited by right and wrong and the heart. Like, we choose through this game of God to be limited and bring that back to God. Hey, you shouldn't just be totally neutral on everything. You You should care about certain things. And
Yeah.
that's what we bring. That's the knowledge we bring back to God. And so God has unlimited the compassion that God has for our stumbling and falling and mistakes and errors and all this crap that we've done. Me too, everyone. And God set up the stumbling and falling. Hey, come on out of the mud here. It's better over here. It's very debilitating for the ego. The ego is just like, because eventually you say the ego is not helping me anymore. I need your help, God. I need to get out of this game. I can't handle it anymore. I need your help. Just I'll bend the knee, get me out. Tell me what to do. Show me what to do. And God's like, well, do right and wrong. Okay, great. And that's what we have. We operate for the heart. Heaven and the heart, they operate together. You're careful in your actions, and you spend your time on how am I going to get to, I have limited time. How am I going to get out of here? That's what should be on your mind and in your heart. You're not giving up on that thought. You're always contemplating, oh, how can I do better? There's only so much time. And then God sends you something that makes sense, to
Yeah.
you to engage with. Oh, hey, for me and my skill set and what I'm doing right now, that does make sense. Thank you,
Right.
God.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what we have. We have trust in God. You ultimately become like a child, like who trusts their mother as a child, or father. You're just like, you don't even think about it. You're just playing on the beach. Like my new guru is this girl who's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 or something like that. She's at the drum circle and she's always running around having a great time or totally doing something. She's always happy just running around, not a negative thought in her head anytime, anywhere, just like unworried completely, like how can I make the most of my time on the sand right now in this second, right now?
Okay.
Hi, how are you? What do that's because all this is so much overwhelming information, especially to the thinkers who got here by thinking it through logically, you know? And in the end, you're like, well, I can't figure this out. Like, just tell me what to do. Then you operate like a child. A child, oh, that's scary. I don't want to do that. You're like, okay, I don't want to do that. You become just like that. Like, no to that, yes to that. No, I don't think that will get me closer to God. I'm going to pilgrimage, so I'm supposed to have a face to face with God, and that sounds like, yeah, that's gonna go around that one. Thank you anyway. That's what we have because oh, this is a spiritual effort. This whole thing we're engaged in, and okay, you got to win before you can help others win. You can help anyone from where you are down. You can help anyone. I made it this far. Look where I am. I can help you get to here, and that's helpful. You're great at that, actually. But to get someone all the way, you got to go all the way.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing that you could be most helpful with is being able to get someone to go all the way.
Right. Right.
So it's like, how can I serve God the most? Well, you got to have your face to face with God. You got to do it to help others be able to do it. So it just comes always back down to that.
Yeah.
I got there the long way by like, I'm going to kill the devil. Fine. If that's the problem here, you're dead. Well, better to just point at God and be like, you and I need to meet. I don't want anything here. Oh yeah, you don't want this? Let me send you another thing. You don't want that? No. You don't want this? You don't want, you sure? You sure? You sure? You sure? Listen, just God, stop it. And you're more careful with your thoughts, more careful with your actions, more careful with your time, who you invest your time and energy into. You become careful about it. Time is limited. You're not going to mess up your slate. You're going to, hey, I need to balance this thing out. I need to get out of here. And if your mind is on, my prayer before I met with God became, make me your perfect servant, because that's who God meets with. I need you to do some stuff for me down there. And you're already doing that very well. So then it's like, listen, and that means make me a perfect servant means send me the things that I need to overcome that I haven't overcome in the past, that you and I haven't met before. Try me again. And then my prayer became more faster. Keep sending me stuff. If I mess up, just send me 5 more. Send me. I'm gonna get it right. Just so send it.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's the only way we have, by our actions, by determining at this point I'm going to do this and not that, and take the time to think about it. Listen, God, I asked, hey, we need to know. I need to know right now. So tell me. And the firmer you are in your demands that you need to know one on one from God, between you and God all the time, no break, never. Then God knows you have to have a meeting with God to get that right. That's the way it is. Listen, it's all you. It's all you. I'm your perfect servant. If you're not telling me what to do, how can I be your perfect servant? Can't do it. Tell me what to do. And so that's, hey, I heard you. You're in. Get to work. And you already have to be doing it to a level, helping, doing work for others and so on, that you get chosen because, okay, you're doing pretty good down there. I need some more help. I'll meet with you, you know. So I think you're taking the right pathway to do it. So many stumble and fall on the way of finding my work. They're just like, oh my God, I'm gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like they're like, no, you just put yourself right back in the time loop. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't this that's what they all do. So to not do that is and still have your own work you're doing and so on. It's excellent. It's important. God doesn't want to choose just everyone the same to win the game. That's not it at all.
Right.
We all have different
Yeah.
methods
Different
to
roles.
reach different
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
and so on. So like Mike is here. That's why
Yeah. Yeah.
my character type, but personification necessary to be like to break the first trail was a different type of character than it is to reach more people
Right. No.
and talk with them.
And that, and I've thought that through too, and yeah, that definitely makes sense. And even in meeting a lot of the other people in here too, you can kind of see how everyone does certain things that their essence and their soul does particularly well.
Yeah, yeah. Still accept the truth, still accept God, and their only thing is I want to meet with God, and then after that, they're in service of God. No one meets with God and is alive and isn't in service of God. That's that's like the fake story of the devil.
Mhm.
The devil, who do you think's doing all the work up in here, causing all the suffering? What a crappy job that is. Like, hey, we need you to clean up the sewers only forever. It's like, what a great job. Thanks, God. But I need you to do it because you're the only one that can do it. It's like, oh, thanks. So when I shake the devil's hand, like, hey, go do your best. I don't know how you do it. I can't even, ugh, so much horror and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's quite a service to do that, and that's what we ultimately, having experienced so much trauma and suffering and difficulties in this game, getting to the truth. Once you get to it, you forgive them. You're like, oh man, you have to do this. You have to
Yeah.
make us suffer to get here. That sucks. But that's the way God made us. Our creator made us in the game to have to suffer to win the game. So that's back on God. Hey, it's not on them. They're perfect service. They're just following the script. They're following orders.
Yeah.
They're not even thinking it through. They're just doing what they're told, which is, in a way, being a perfect servant. But unless you get fully separated from God, like we feel separated, we don't feel. I don't have a hive mind. We don't have that. We have our memory wipe. They don't. They're not. They know they're working for God. Like, who else could they be working for? The God of this world who works for God. They know that. It's so obvious to them. With their powers, they know all the behind the scenes, everything. Or the 64-year time loop, everything. They already know all this. They've already accepted that and their role. But they don't have their memory wipe. They don't they don't have their memory right. They can read minds. They get everything given to them. They're running a completely different life that we have lived, and that scares them, coming out of their exact character script. If that's all you do and that keeps you safe and that's who you are, not doing that, that's their fear. Uh, and we have to operate from the heart and have compassion for them. And like, hey, and they're like children to us now. We were like children to them. Now we know the truth and they brought us to that. But now they're like children to us. It's like, wait a minute. You know everything and you're not choosing to go with God? Like, wait a second. There's an error in your code over there, and it's a built-in error code. And from our heart, we can show them how to overcome that. Mayor Baba talks about love, and half of his writing was about love, which comes from the heart. But not, what we all get told love is. Love is like, I'm going to serve God. Love is the truth, This is what you need to do, and this is why. These are the principles of play. You want to win the game, and why would you want to stay here once you know the truth? Why are you staying? So we constantly show in our choices every day, we become the lighthouse to them. That's our service, not choosing our own choices. We're still who we are, but now we're changed by the truth. And we go, oh, I'm not going to do that. That would be dumb. Before I used to do that, but I'm not going to do that because now I know the truth. And so we become that lighthouse for them to change. That's our service. You're already doing it. You're doing it now. But you have to experience the truth next.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And you earned that experience.
I'm just deciding where to book my flight out of right now. But yeah, I'm definitely going. So I was thinking, I don't know, I haven't hit up Mike yet, but I was considering flying out of Tampa. Because I know there's a bunch of people flying out of Atlanta, but I don't really want to like go up there and then go across. And
there's
Tampa,
a great flight into Frankfurt from flying Lufthansa. It's got a great flight out of Tampa.
Okay.
They do was stop and into Mumbai, and a reasonable price too. Even in upgraded economy, I thought it was reasonable. So yeah, I'd go there. That's a wonderful flight, and it's good times of the day or whatever to get to the airport from here. I would do it on, well, anyway, whatever days you choose, but that was the flight I was looking at.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah, one stop. Let's see what how many people say this stuff, but I just want to catch up here. Jay's here. Manny Man, Martin, sending lots of love. Oh,
what's up, Jay?
Sony is here. Good day, everyone. All right, good to have you, George. Each crossover is a miracle of 2.8 million incarnations. Yeah. Samuel Wright is here. Good to have you. And Jay, a miracle would allow it, but how very, very rare. That's right. We're the rare ones. So why not ask for the big miracles? What else we doing up here? I'm into the spiritual technology. I'm into repeating miracles. That we have certain things laid into law here by God for our use. We need to surface what those are. They're afraid of us. Don't you get that? Why are they afraid of us? Don't you want to know every little reason why? I do. You lording over us. All I want is, you brought up the 6 feet thing. All I want is 6 feet too. I don't want everything you have. Just how about 6 feet? Let's start there, like, stop already. So in that vein, last week or the week before, I talked about spiritual technology testing and envelopes, using them with God's name. I did that last night. Fascinating. I got some super real looking money off Amazon. Prop money, but stuff looks legit.
It looks good.
Looks totally. Mike came in one day. He's like, "Man, all that freaking. What are you doing with all that cash on your desk, too? What the?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, like it totally looks real." And I put cash in chase envelopes, where you get your cash for the biggest bank. Everybody knows what that is. Got my money. What's up? And so I put $500 bills each in 4 envelopes, and hey, I know I won the game first, and I don't go around, hey, I'm Christ, blah blah blah. Like, that doesn't matter to me. It matters that you win the game. So, but does my name have any value in spiritual technology? It's not an ego trip. It's just like, I want to know, because they give it to Jesus. So it's like, they give anything to me. So I wrote John McCaig on it, and then and that one I brought 4 envelopes. One said John McCaig on it. One said property of John McCaig, do not touch. One said Jesus Christ on it. One said property of Jesus Christ, do not touch. So out of 4, I put one like in the Cobus. I put one by the shower up there by the picnic table. Then I walked back down, and then I put one over on a bench on the next entrance to the beach. And then I put one on the bench in the like wind block area. Then I went up on the boardwalk and put one onto the first covered area. So I put out 4, and then I turn around, and some woman has already picked up one off. I'm watching her like pick one up off the bench down the boardwalk, like back down to the concrete bench. She's picked one up, and she's seen the other one on the other bench, and is like walking swiftly towards it. And I was like, okay, this crap doesn't work at all. Wow. Well, and then I go to the drum circle. Like, I didn't watch her, I didn't film it, I did nothing. I was like, I'm going to the drum circle. And if anything's left, hey, I'll know something happened. Well, where I saw her pick up that one, and she went directly over to get the other one, that one was still there. And that one said Jesus Christ on it. That was the only one left. So I was like, and I'm watching her. I'm like, well, those 2 are gone. No, the second one wasn't gone. It has a slight tear in it. Like, what's in there? Like, oh, it's like not enough, or maybe she got that it was funny money in the other one, or whatever. But it stayed there. Is my point. This one was there, and the other ones weren't. And so now it's just testing spiritual technology to see, do we have a God's name up here we could use to save some property that, so it doesn't get stolen? Is it possible? So that was a simple result. And I said I'd take it to the next step and do some filming. I still got more envelopes, and, hey, we signed with that name of God, Jesus Christ, so it would make sense that that would work. So, and it would make sense that it works in a non-complicated way, not having to write other words and do not touches, stuff like that, just the name. What else do we have? We have the name. So that advanced forward, I'm still working on it. I don't know who else is working on it. I'm always working on it. Like, how do I kick your ass up in here? And, because, okay, there's 2 teams up here. Generally, there's a third team that just is background, and they don't count for winning or nothing. You know what I mean? So if you're in a game that God made, until they fear you, they're run by fear, right? Until they fear you because you can beat them, you really haven't won. Have you? No, like,
Actually, and I was thinking about that too, because even a while ago when you wanted to go to law school, like already, even when you brought up the idea, I already sort of saw how that was not the best idea, just because having another like thingy after your name, like, that doesn't convince people of anything ever. Like, even because I was in the financial space, and like, partly why I didn't get the Series 6, 7, blah blah blah, all these different things, was like, even if I had that, which I could easily get, how will that actually give me credibility ultimately? Like, it's just another letter number thing, but it's more like, what have you done? And that's like the sword that you swing, where if you've done certain things, that weighs on people's mind, far more than like whatever your little credentials say.
agreed.
And so I definitely, I mean, obviously you've demonstrated that by example, and I've even one thing I'm doing now is I'm actually getting my real estate agent's license in Florida.
That's good. That's
And
great.
I've seen other, trustees that are doing well with it, and I mean, particularly Jamie.
Yeah.
Um, but I also think that even just in terms of understanding the game and being more like competent, if it's like really a turf war and real estate is the turf, well, understanding the rules wherever you are, that's not never going to hurt you. There's only like upside optionality to that. And yeah, and I'm definitely, that's one thing that I'm kind of
That's
excited
smart.
about.
That's smart. We got to have a roof over our head. God created us to need one. So,
And to help other people do that, or
yeah.
even liquid, because even my parents are selling a place right now in Sarasota, and it's been on the market 9 months. And I know ultimately it's probably overpriced, but that's like a trend that's going to keep accelerating. I mean, and I don't know exactly, assets prices in general go up and down depending on what you're talking about, but just with the way the baby math is of this whole, everything collapsing, there's a lot of like the liquidity in real estate's horrible. It's just very hard to move stuff because of a number of different variables that affect that. But people still need a place to live, and it's still like, and even like renting, people still need to rent a place, and there's like a lot of ways that people need to be served in that, and
Yeah. 100%.
and it's one of those service things too, because it's like even in trying to figure out like what is useful to do for the hive or for them, or actually something that's actually like a in demand for us, something that's like you can actually make money on. Because there's certain fields where you'll try it and you just won't be able to make fucking money. Like it's just because
Yeah.
it's not really
Almost
real.
everything. Almost everything here. Yeah. If you're not one of them. But they respect a servant, you know, but that's a hard business to make money, and you have to be 24/7 servant. Just ask
Yeah.
Amy, like
Yeah.
24/7. That's what you're doing for them, But that's the way we serve. Like the only reason I'm pulling back is some of the things that I'm doing is because logically, if there's a hierarchy, I'm trying to make people reach the highest status spiritually here so they can leave. So the weight has to impact their shoulders karmically, and they have to make the decisions, right or wrong. They have to, or else they don't earn their way out. Uh, so I'm back, but ultimately, other people need to face with God, and even after that, they need to continue serving others by showing what is right or wrong. That's all. Showing what is right or wrong. Uh, and then picking a field of service like you are. Okay, real estate. Everyone needs it. Great. That's what it needs to be. I've done a lot in that area myself, so I understand it's not easy.
Yeah.
And you're good with people, and it's about people and helping them. It is, and just listening and hearing what they need and knowing where you are and helping them. And if you approach it that way, you'll be helpful and you'll make money because you're helpful. I'm helpful. That's why people want me to help them, because I've got proof I'm helpful. And you're good at engaging with them, social media, all those things. You're very good at all that. So that is a good idea.
Even my original career, I mean, that was my intention, and that's what led me to the trust ultimately, because I didn't have much of my own in that sense, but I was motivated by this freedom idea, and in trying to protect others, like not just my family, even clients, like how do I do the best thing for them, really? And
Completely.
even this word like that I'm studying, and kind of it sort of piqued my mind when I was studying for this real estate exam, is the word fiduciary. Because when you really understand what that word even means, like think about all the so-called fiduciaries out there. Are they actually fiduciaries when we're really getting down to it? Like they have no fucking clue what is even going on. How can you be a fiduciary and look after someone properly if you don't even know like where your feet are standing?
No, it's simple.
So it's just one of those interesting things. Like there's whole industries based on just fucking lies, and it's okay, It's just,
Yeah, but you're great in the industry you're in too. Like you could switch to real estate, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with knowing more information. But
the thing with financial stuff that's hard is just it's like part of the even the technology that you're working with, it empowers people to do stuff themselves, and that a lot of the financial world is like you're trying to, and I know some people need help with it. I get that. Like I know, and there's obviously I do help certain people who come to me, but I'm saying in terms of like the product side, like if you're going to sell financial products or be some kind of financial advisor in that sense, like a lot of these, most of these products are just not good, and they're just like even most of these financial plans, like what are you going to like unless you plan with them that you're in a time loop, like what are you going to do? Because people are not like
Yeah, I think you're undervaluing yourself. I just want to be real with this, okay? And anyone wrestling with similar thoughts, I want to be real with this. You don't have the information they have, like which stocks go up and which go down. You don't know the whole timeline, nothing like that. But you do know the basics of finances, so you do know right or wrong. You're not going to steal from people. You know what I mean? You're not going to be Bernie Madoff. You're not going to be evil. You're going to get basic returns for people. You're going to be trustworthy for people that just don't want to spend the time on it, don't have other abilities that aren't financial. They don't know nothing about it, but have plenty of money. Like those people need trustworthy help too, you
yeah
know? Like you have one thing they don't have. You're trustworthy. And that's the most important quality of any quality in any business. It doesn't matter what it is. So they don't have that. You're noticing your colleagues just don't have that. They don't have the truth. They don't share the truth. They're not honest. Look, I can get you, this is what returns I've gotten. These are the reasons why. This is what I'm good at investing in. This is the way I handle things. So that what you'll experience in another field will be exactly the same. I'm just being real with you,
mm,
so that you don't spend your time elsewhere thinking that same exact things are going to happen because it is. You know what I mean? Because they have information we don't have. They have all kind of property we don't have.
yeah
It's staggering. What they have everything. They have
yeah
everything. We have trustworthiness. We have our actions that we're honest, that we're good from our art. We have that we're trustworthy. They don't have that. They don't. They're not trustworthy. If you put too much in front of them with the right bait, they're no good, you know? So if you're watching over finances, trustworthy is number one. Yeah, I got some returns, but I got them. I didn't get into any snafu. I'm not in some
yeah
giant IRS nightmare. I didn't lose this house. I can't give it
Similar,
to my children.
yeah,
All these problems,
yeah, but similar to you, I found it like better to just give people their own framework and like obviously help them when they have questions, but rather than try to insert myself as some kind of like financial person for them,
But that exists.
it does
People
okay, that's fair, it does exist,
do.
but
They're
I just think
actual for children, for beneficiaries and stuff. But trust exists for that.
yeah
There are people that have a amount of wealth that they just used to have advisors doing it
yeah
and
yeah
stay
yeah
within
yeah
their limits, and
yeah
that's just who they are.
yeah no
That's the other team
I
giving us an opportunity to show we're
And
trustworthy.
even more recently, I have met certain people that are still in the financial industry, and it seems like they're doing great as far as like trying to get people. And I know
Yeah.
you've talked to a few of them, maybe, but people who are like advising a lot of people, and they're actually
Yeah.
like realizing what's going on. And I've spoken to multiple people like that, and then they refer a lot of people, like a lot of people,
That's what
very
I'm
quickly.
saying. That's what I'm
And
saying,
that's
man.
probably something that hasn't happened like historically. That's like a thing that's
No.
changing
No,
now.
that's you.
Yeah,
That's your impact within the field you're in. And I'm telling you, by far, the only quality that people really care about is trustworthiness. If you're trustworthy and you're in the financial realm and you're watching over people's assets and stuff, what are you trusted to do? Make the asset keep its value or have more value.
yeah.
That's all you're trying to do. So you don't have any other goals in mind. You're watching over this stuff for them. Hey, thank you for doing that. What do you want? Like regular returns? You want some, you know, quarterly money? Like you just ask them what they want for their lifestyle, and then you just go about doing it for them in a careful way. Like you say, you know what the products are. They're not perfect. They exist. There's some stable, returns. Not like the We Trust. They're going to eclipse everything. But they
Yeah,
already have
yeah, yeah.
everything.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, so you'll make careful choices, for people. Do you have any gold? Do you have any so you don't? Well, maybe you should have some, like
And,
you'll
and and again, that same framework, that's just what give people, and
yeah.
a lot of them implement it themselves, and they're doing well off it, or at least they're, and again, it's just you have some of this, some of that. You have a portfolio depending on what you're working with, and it's like you're trying to manage risk. Like unless you've lived the loop already, you don't really know. So you just try to follow like good narratives, and also and even above putting money passively somewhere, it's like if you have a service or business that you do, I always tell people like that's the first thing you should focus on, because then you can wake up tomorrow and doesn't matter what crazy bullshit's going on, like you still wake up and you still serve people, and then you'll make something, might not be the grandest thing, but you'll make enough to take care of yourself.
So that's trustworthiness and caring. You have empathy for them. So your financial advice can extend beyond just here the financial products, but what are you managing right now? Let's take a look at it. You should do a profit and loss every month. Like at least give yourself the information. And I didn't even know I was doing that. Yeah, don't do those things. You don't even know you're doing. Plug all the leaks out there, everything's better. Just teaching people the basics in finances, and being trustworthy and doing it. Almost no one's doing that. They're just
Yeah,
doing whatever they're doing. And so I don't, you already got traction out there in the financial realm. And like you say, you're meeting other professionals and so on. You'd be great in that, dude. Like, I'm not kidding. It's like you already are great in there. You're the you're the individual that gets my work out there more than anyone else, and it's financial work, partly the way you explain it, and partly for the spiritual realm and many other things. But you're already saying it in a way that people can hear it,
yeah.
and that's necessary. And so no reason to disengage from your audience and
Well,
rebuild
I'm definitely
again.
not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm
yeah,
I'm just trying to, because in the same, like kind of circling back to when you were thinking about law school, I was thinking about like, what in my resume, if I had certain things and I showed it to someone, like
yeah,
they'd be like, oh, that guy knows what he's doing.
yeah.
And I was trying, like, and in the financial world, it's like, yeah, I could more actively help trustees in certain ways, like, and I'm already fairly active, like, but I just don't really like manage stuff for people in that sense. I don't do that.
You can manage situations, and work at an hourly rate or
Yeah,
work
no,
on
I do that. Like
retainer. That's what
I
I'm
do have an
saying.
hourly,
That's what I'm
So
saying.
like at a basic level, I do that.
Yeah.
But in terms of even that, it's not like I have a high volume. So I still have a lot of time every day where I'm like, what do I work on?
Well, you
And
you can work on what you're working on and keep
yeah, I
getting
mean, keep
better
it
at it.
well, and that's and I'm doing that. Like I'm not
And
stopping
I
that.
know, I know, but
I'm not.
I'm
Yeah,
saying, dude, you're serving, and you're serving very well. And I'm the one who wins the race first, and you are making people see my work, but at the same time see your work. You can build yourself up into whatever more of a more regular mainstream. Like I did my work, and then I made a school and a church.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You
yeah.
could be a financial advisor under you could make it into what that is, being of service. Like mastery and servitude is accepting the programming out there
Mm,
and giving them what they need in an understandable format, just so they'll come in the door and you can help more of them.
yeah.
That's your goal, to help more
Look,
of
I
them.
didn't want to give the impression that I'm stopping that, or
No,
even
you're
slowing it
not. You're
down. I'm
not.
not. I'm the I just, in terms of thinking like on a resume, what makes me more credible, not a resume, but just what makes me more credible when I speak to anyone. I think the real estate, like even having a license, like in that field, I think that is useful.
Yeah,
Especially many people have real estate as an asset, like even just
of
people who own
course.
their home, and
Of
so
course,
somewhere to
so that's
live,
a
like
good adjunct to what you're doing. But what I'm saying is,
yeah,
if you run under the banner of financial advisor or something
yeah.
super in the area of what you're doing, then you actually will get a lot of clients. You know what I'm saying? Because you're accepting their
You'd be
programming.
surprised though, because there was the point when I was still trying to do more. I was trying to feel out like how do I advise people in the financial sense while also getting them to do the trust. And that is a very tricky thing actually, because it's like the more I would try to talk about other financial stuff, it would just actually divert energy from having them do the trust first. Like that's ultimately the foundation that any other financial thing would need to be built on. So it was very difficult for me to even talk about other products because it's like you have so much going on. Already the trust is a lot to handle. And then now I'm adding other financial shit on top of that. It's like very, and that's not to say it can't theoretically be done, but what I'm seeing now is a lot of people are already have that relationship with people. Like I don't have a book of clients or anything like that, you know?
No, no,
And
no,
and
but you could create that
yeah,
because
yeah, I
you
could,
are
but
getting
it's
traction out on
yeah,
the internet,
yeah,
and you do put up your information, you're honest, you show what happens. That's the way it starts, and you get real traction. And the more you mainstream it, like I got a master's in accounting, I got an MBA, I got an undergraduate in business and finance. Not because hey, I learned everything I need to know over there,
yeah,
like the opposite,
yeah,
but I accept their
yeah,
programming,
yeah,
and I don't take it off my website. Hey, man, that doesn't matter.
yeah,
It matters to them. It doesn't matter to
right,
me. It
right,
doesn't matter to you. Yeah, no problem. But it matters to them out there.
right,
That's what I'm saying. If you do your marketing and tune it up into go look at your, oh, I don't have a book of clients. Well, who does? Go make your stuff more like, go make your website more like them. Accept their programming.
yeah,
I'm going to make a school. Okay, what do you have in a school? Blah blah blah. You have courses.
yeah,
You have So you just accept the programming out there. You just tune it up to like, okay, hi, because that's part of the difficulty of service is I have to be Ronald McDonald. It's like, yes, you have to be Ronald McDonald. Like, go ahead. But I don't want it. That
yeah,
wasn't my goal to be Ronald McDonald. It's like, yeah, but yes, it is. You know what I mean? Like, uh, that's it sucks, but
uh,
who eats all that burgers? Like everybody eats those burgers. You're like, oh, I don't want to sell those
yeah,
burgers. It's like, but if you're doing that and you're trustworthy, oh, for my special clients, you may not want to do this, but for certain clients who want to keep more of their assets and more of their income, I recommend this trust. This is just for my special clients. Like once I hook people on the trust and the finance, I'm like, hey, here's God over here. Like there's different levels to it.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so, and the more you do it in the field that you stay in, the better you become at
Right.
it.
That I do see that, and
And you're already good at this.
no, yeah,
You're already
nothing in
trustworthy.
that aspect is stopping.
That's what
I'm
I'm
just trying to
saying.
layer onto it where and
Yeah.
even in terms of the repeatable miracle, one thing my family has done is we had a few different properties, like three, and now they're all living in different places too, which is kind of weird. But it's just we've already sold two properties within the trust, and it was just so that's like a very repeatable miracle. I just, people who already have them, and I don't know many people
You're talking about managing family's wealth. Your family did this. Here's look, it
yeah,
worked.
yeah,
You
no,
have all the proof,
yeah,
man.
and I'm creating a case study right now that's showing like
Yes,
even the
dude.
sales contracts and the deeds and all
Yes,
of that.
yes, yes.
Um, but in terms of repeating that more, and also even what the Poe family's done, and even like because I talked to Alan last week, and even that is like repeating that miracle more. Like, how can we systematize more people doing that? So it's like there's more of these lighthouse beacons where it's just like, oh yeah, that's really how it's done. Not all this like fake ass shit out there. It's like
Yeah,
repeat that.
yeah, yeah. You're already doing it. That's why I was saying, like, you're adding an adjunct to it. Great. More, understanding of assets that need protecting, especially complicated ones like real estate. Great. That's helpful. But you know, accept what you're good at and serve at the best level, and just accept who your competition is and go up against them. You are trustworthy. You don't tell people the truth, but you are. I'm trustworthy. That's here's my proof. That's what I do. Like it's actually not complex. You're very good at those things already. Let me catch up with what we're doing here. Yeah, Reese, the spiritual technology experiments sound like fun. They are. They reveal a lot. Jay, this is great idea, Martin. Excellent. Rita, Martin, I will buy a house where you get your real estate license. I'm dreaming to move to Florida. Boom.
There we go.
There you go. Talk about motivation. That's excellent, Rita. It'd be great to have you here. Alan, with regards to using Jesus Christ's name above external doorways in a home, last time I visited, I noticed yours are on the inside. Yep. I have mine on the outside. Do you recommend inside or outside? Well, I like when I put those envelopes down, uh, like the one I have left here. Where did it go? This one. Uh, I put the name Jesus Christ down and I put Chase Bank up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going fishing. Let's see if this thing works. So, and I don't want somebody, hey, I took down the name out there, some tree happened, some wind blew, whatever. I put the name on the inside because they know who I am. They know who you are. They know what's up. Either the spiritual technology works or it doesn't. I want on the doorway, given notice. That's kind of fake. They know everything. So it's just, do you use the technology or do you not use the technology? You know, like either it works above the door or it doesn't. They have to read it or they don't. That's why I put it face down. So that's what I want to know. Oh, I had Jesus Christ on my this, but it was turned the other way. They go, great. I'm going to test it in that way because that's the way it needed to work. Oh, you didn't see it on the door and you came in the window. Oh, great. You see, I need it on the inside. I need it in the most difficult circumstance. I'm going to test the most difficult circumstance because so I can help the most people. That's why I did it that way. Good question. Uh, Alan's always on it. Jeannie, great time. Jay Baba, good to have you. Jay, good question, Alan. Yeah. Uh, see, I trust both of you. That's so sweet. Martin plucked me from my impossibly endless search. That's what I'm saying. He's already really, really good at this. And just putting it in a more uh, not negating anything you're doing or changing anything you're doing, just adding a few, features like, hey, I Miss America sash, like, you know what I mean? Like, what a McDonald's in town today, like just the basics,
Yeah.
making a joke of it from the financial side.
Yeah.
Just
That's literally
they,
what
you're
I
not fighting over any programming of any kind. You're just like, this is it. And they're like, whoa, that guy's got proof. Plus, that's why I went that way, just to be able to help more people, serve more people. That's serving God. So, uh, Manny, I do IT consulting on their first name, last name trust. Now, excellent. My approach is to assist clients with their IT needs honestly and trustworthy. Fantastic. I have seen so many people take advantage of clients. Exactly. That's my point. Thank you very much. If just that is all you have going for you, care and you're doing your best, you're in the 99th percentile automatically, not by not being evil, and that's how you build a client base right there. And doing the work and proving you did it, you're safe. Success is assured over time. And more clients are assured. Period. Uh, Thank you, Manny. You put that very well. Thank you. I've learned so much from both of you this past year. That's wonderful to hear, Manny. Thank you. Thank you, Jay. Samuel Wright. Martin explains things simply good, like the lyrics to a John Lennon song. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's helping people. So why change if your service is going great? Just put it in a mainstream format for them and not totally just it's going to have a different logo, but it has the things, like, okay, it has the things. They look a little different, but okay, he's a little different, but I need a little different because I'm a little different. Great. There are a few things I want to talk about real quick before we wind this up. I'm going to do a quick reading here from this is The Everything and the Nothing by Mayor Baba. This is number 37, Will and Worry. Duality implies separateness. Separateness causes fear. Fear makes worry. The way of oneness is the way to happiness. The way of manyness is the way to worry. I am the one who has no second, so I am eternally happy. You are separate from yourself, capital S. So you always worry. To you, what you see is absolutely real. To me, it is absolutely false. I alone am real, and my will governs the cosmic illusion. It is the truth when I say that the waves do not roll and the leaves do not move without my will. The moment the intensity of your faith in my will reaches its height, you say goodbye to worry forever. Then all you suffered and enjoyed in the past, together with all that you may experience in the future, will be to you the most loving and spontaneous expression of my will, and nothing will be able to cause you to worry again. Live more and more in the present, which is ever beautiful and stretches away beyond the limits of past and the future. If at all you must worry, let it be how to remember me constantly. This is worthwhile worry because it will bring about the end of worry. Think of me more and more, and all your worries will disappear into nothing they really are. My will works out to awaken you to this, right? We just serve God. That's it. You know, your your worry goes away. Like the sureness that the other team has, and they just follow their script. We develop the same level of surety. God is going to let me know, and that's what I'm going to do every single day, and that's it. And then your worry goes away because you trust in God. You know, God, you see God everywhere, runs everything, and you have laid down, you wrote it up. Every action is for God. How are you not working for God? How can you not trust God if you lay down your life, all the paperwork, everything goes back to God, even your actions, your thought, everything? Well, then you have to trust in God completely all the time, like a child. You see? You have to do your work and do your best. We have a fiduciary duty to this body, you know? We got placed in here. We got the truth. We didn't get ejected from the dome. We're still here. We have a fiduciary duty to everyone still here. Oh, God chose me to know the truth, and now I got to live the life of truth and show them. It's easy in a way because you're not going to choose the wrong thing. Like you're not. Once you know the truth of your heart's right, you're not going to choose the wrong thing. It's hard because winning the game isn't easy, but it's also completely easy because you can't do anything else. Like the truth, you can't do anything but live an honest, real, right way. When choices come upon you, you can't make a bad choice. You can't. So you become trustworthy to others and to God. That's it. That's our service, being trustworthy. How do you want to serve, in what area, what capacity? Okay. Let me make sure I didn't skip anything. We need to talk about the gathering when we have a little more time. I'm not going to do it May 17th. I got told that was my anniversary. It's in my phone now. It's in my calendar, so I can't screw it up. So not then. Okay. So other times, maybe in May, but all right. Look, I learned something, even me. Put it in the calendar. Uh, So I want to read something. I've been listening to the hip abduction lately, and I want to read this one. I like this one. It's called My Mirage. Your lights out, babe, Baba. Your lights out, Baba. And our dreams are like all the rest. And your heart's my pride. A life I'll lock up fast. I'll take the long way alone to have your vision guide me home. And then I feel your heart. And you're still my mirage, right? This is about you on pilgrimage. Uh, as we share the night sky, right? Because that's where our soul is. That's where we lay our souls to rest in the night sky. See, it's say right here in the song, as I've said. And as I journey into me, I feel your hand up on my chest. And you're a long way gone, but I still feel your spirit live on. And then I feel your heart, and you're still my mirage, right? So this is about you going on pilgrims, you pilgrims going on retreat, on pilgrimage. I got it out. Uh, you know the truth, you see God's heart, but you haven't met with God fully. And so that's what you need to do. And they all know you're the stars of the sky. You're trying to win your soul. I'm just saying, like Martin was saying, it's in everywhere. Whoops. It's in everything. I'm looking for this one. Sorry. Uh it's everywhere. This is all that's going on. Once you see the truth, it's everything around us is only this. There's nothing else. Become trustworthy in what you do. You'll have more business clients, what have you, uh, and you'll save more people. You'll have your miracles. They'll show up. Maybe you get someone from the other team. Who else could? It's only you could do it. Me or you. There's no one else. So you got to try. If you could turn one of them, you could turn that whole hive. You see, it has meaning. If you could get one, then they're all forced to think about it. Why not go for the big miracle? Why not? You know, why not? That's why, like, throw down this spiritual technology. Super many people at the drum circle. Let's see how it goes. Like, let's throw. Oh, everything's right along smooth. Let's throw the monkey wrench in. There we go. What happens when you throw the monkey wrench in? Let's watch. You know. Okay. So you know the truth. Get out there and be the truth and help people come to the truth. That's what we have. That's how to be loving. Let's see what else anybody said here, and then we're going to sign off. Martin came over, and it's good to have him. Let's see if anything else is going on here. Uh, here we go. Mike, thank you, John. Yeah. Thank you, Jesus Christ. Wonderful message received today. Blessings to all. Wonderful, Reese. Thanks, John and Martin. I really enjoy and benefit from these Sunday live streams. I agree. It helps us all. Thank you for being here. We'll be here next week. If you want to, anything else on your mind, Martin? You good?
I think, yeah. I think
Okay.
we covered a lot. It gave me a lot to think about. But yeah, I mean, it's like this. Once you get to a certain point, like certain things are on easy mode, like with the trust stuff. Obviously, like there's still problems, when new things to overcome, but you just leave certain things on the shelf. Like it's just way easier, sort of locked in, and then you try to, I guess, uncover the new plays.
Yes, like Mayor Bob was saying, be in the present. You don't know what the next day is going to bring, but God is going to tell you exactly what to do, and you're a servant, and you're going to witness another miracle. Is it going to be a big one today? Is it going to be a small one? A couple of medium ones? Like you're just like, I'm working for you, so I know it's going to happen. And that's what we get to experience too. We sort of become like the other team in a way. It's all a miracle. They have all these powers and stuff, and we get accepted into the club of, okay, you're a perfect servant, great. Then watch what happens over here behind the scenes, and it's sort of a treasure to get that, because our forgiveness becomes very real once you see the hardship that they have over there.
Yeah.
Like being a servant of God is not easy. You're like, this is hard. Like, yeah, very hard. You want to give up and stuff, but you can't, because once you know the truth, you're like, I wouldn't. No, like you'll say yes to what you say yes to, and no to no. So thank you, Martin, for being here today. Really appreciate it. Thanks for coming over. Thanks for, hey, can I come over? I love that. Anytime. It's great to have you. And it'd be great to have you and Mike sometime,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I did it. He's helping somebody, as I said, he helps so many people, but Mike is just like, he really helps a lot of people.
I mean, I'm going to be around, so I'm going to see you at the drum circle this week too.
Excellent. Okay. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, everyone. Going to sign off. What are the Dates. Don't have dates for May, gather arena, but I'm working on it. I have a date not to do it. So think about dates to do it. Okay. And I'd like the Poe family to come, and they have sort of a little one and stuff like that. So I tend to ask them first. And now I know the date I can't do it. So maybe earlier in May before it gets super duper hot. Maybe, I don't know. Uh, just a thought. But that's kind of what I would be thinking. Put on your thinking cap, Poe family. Think about that. Okay. Uh, let's see. George, are there any conditions or situations where a Christian can rent to others? Generally, no, but are there exceptions or special situations? I mean, there are, but you know, I just would like to steer clear of ownership of real estate and renting because the karmic difficulties are like impossible. I can't see how to unravel that, you know? People do own assets and stuff, but if everyone could own one home, everyone would have a home. There are plenty of homes. And so it's really investing. It's not most people doing it that's a problem. It's like the got we trust. The hedge turned it, making hedge funds and buying all this real estate under LLCs and the banks doing it. All that stuff is jacking up the prices so people can't afford houses. So to become a part of that stream of causing suffering to others is not going to go well or your karma. Oh, but it's just me, just this. Well, if you accumulate them together, how are you different from what the banks are doing? So I don't see easy methods of separating that out. I don't.
I have a question along those lines.
Yeah.
So let's say like someone's in a situation with their property that's like a bad situation. They're might be foreclosed on, or they're just behind and they can't. There's a lot of factors that maybe why they couldn't move. If someone comes in like and wants to help them, like obviously in a theoretically perfect world, like they could do a trust and like use the trust maybe to stop or hold the property or something like that. But that's like a very high outcome, when just like so what I'm getting at is there a situation where someone comes in and like, because the outcome for that person, they just want to get rid of the property. Like if someone wants to be an investor and like actually help the person in that way, is that really helping them, or is that what, you know what I mean?
That is such a super
Because I've seen investors that I
great
talk to
question.
that they try to frame it like they're helping the person. And I get how in a certain situation it can be framed. Like they actually, they're people that are in very tough situations that, and they really do want to just like not be involved in it, and they need someone to step in and like help them get to an outcome, right?
Yeah. Let's use an example where it might be more clear cut, but still difficult. Let's say someone's in foreclosure and somebody like, hey, I'll give you cash for keys, put it in my trust over here, and I'll see if I can use God's name to block, the agents from getting on the property. Oh, okay. Are you going to rent in the meantime and make use of it for someone? Yeah. Okay, I'll discount the rent into it with hopefully I'll figure out the spiritual technology too. Yeah, maybe, but why not figure out the spiritual technology first in other methods where no one's at risk and your karma is not at risk and no one
Yeah,
else
yeah,
is? You see
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
You could always break this out away from them situations.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm clear on working on the principles and okay, how could I, set up a test method that, no one's at risk,
right, right, right.
and but the technology is going to get an answer.
And the
So
other question, like alongside of that, is I know, Jesus overturning the table on the money lenders, like money lending is inherently evil. But is there a situation where you're trying to help someone and it's not like, because if you're saying you can't give them money as a loan, then does it have to be like an investment? Does it always is it always just a grant? Like you just have to give a certain amount of money without expectation of anything back? like, how does that work where, you wanna be able to help in a certain situation, but it's not, like, a loan? Is there anything?
Well, There are different types of situation. One is you're not going to have any involvement in what they're doing, right?
Okay.
You're not going to be involved in it. So it's like, oh, I see you're trying to do the right thing. Here's just money. Hopefully that goes well. Another one will be like, hey, I love what you're doing out there. Uh, Maybe we should be in business this certain way, you know? Well, that's just, I'll invest this, you invest that, we'll do it this way.
Right.
That's just sort of making an agreement on how to do that. Well, you're invested in some way. So
Okay,
that's
okay. Yeah,
that's a different situation, where you're
yeah,
both putting in different things. So, I would say that's just how you make an agreement,
okay.
and you won't do wrong, and you know, you do the best you can. It makes sense or it doesn't, whatever it is.
Yeah,
But no lending in that per se, unless you're lending it to yourselves for a certain reason. But I don't recommend that. I really don't.
yeah.
Even in
No,
that case,
and I'm not
well, let me just say,
yeah,
generally, a business should be making money. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So, the investment of capital isn't a good idea necessarily. Investment of credit, which can be built, can be good for like, oh, hey, I need to do advertising, like online
yeah,
advertising.
yeah,
Let
yeah.
me get some credit and like that. Oh, okay. That's lending in a certain way, but you're lending for a reason to build things up in agreement with whoever you're in business with. It's
Right,
not coming
right, right.
from you.
Yeah.
But I don't
It's just
see
that to me, I'm just trying to grasp, like, the line between what's an investment and what's a loan. Sometimes it's blurred because depending on how that
well,
contract.
I wouldn't load because
Right, right,
again,
right.
see, that's getting like, oh, let's get a credit card. That's like you loading. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's getting a credit vehicle elsewhere,
Right, right,
and
right,
in a reason. Oh, it makes sense. We're making money. Let's just add to the investment amount. We'll get 1-2% back. And we're going to spend the money anyway, But and then that's not you. That's why I bring up credit and getting it elsewhere.
yeah.
So I don't recommend it. I don't.
I mean, in general, you don't recommend liens on real estate, right? Like, because I mean,
No,
sometimes it's necessary, right?
sometimes it is necessary. And
Yeah,
I did want to get this
yeah,
place, but it's so horrible getting it that
right.
you must understand the difficulties you're getting into and deal with the devil, and you might probably can't get extricated from it. Probably can't if you don't have the money. You can't come up with a suit. Is probably gonna one day wear you down and
Mm,
take back your equity, your money, your hard earned
right,
everything.
right, right.
You must know that uh, and accept that. And so it makes sense to live in less of a lifestyle, save money, and
Yeah,
then like I lived in a mobile home for 10 years.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
saved my money, and they got this place.
yeah,
So. Uh, just to stay away from the karmic entanglements. I'd rather just live straight this way to the exit door.
yeah,
It is possible. Florida's a beautiful place. There are cheap properties to live in here, like
yeah,
mobile homes. There are.
yeah,
There are ways to live really cheap, and the climate's not bad, so you can do it. You can do it and be outside and live a great life. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses to be here
right,
or anywhere. It
right.
is possible. So you put in your service, you're trustworthy, you can start to make money doing whatever you're doing, save your money, and then go purchase something. And then that's being a really good example to others. Don't get it over your head. Don't let the bankers run your life.
Yeah,
Keep the stress out of your family situation. Just make it a home.
yeah,
You know, uh, there could be reasons to do that. No one wants to wait, but it's worth it, I had to get in this, neighborhood. I had to get a place that needed everything, pretty much. But I don't have a mortgage, so
yeah,
I'm chipping away at it,
yeah,
Uh, and that's going well. Mike's got the bathroom like halfway done, which is great. The toilet's in, it's working, the vanity's in. Uh, Everything's happening over time. So, I try and lead by example, and God doesn't put me in, hey, now you're so wealthy, blah, blah, yeah, you're the man, no. I had to come from the bottom back up again. So I try to make rational decisions in doing it because I become an example once I'm successful. So I'm like, your desire is keeping you here. Sean Scars is your desire. I want a better car. I want a better this. I want a better that. If instead I just need a roof over my head that the hurricane doesn't blow down, and kind of close to the beach, that would be amazing at some point. Until then, what works in the meantime that I can save money and still do my service from, still be healthy from, still be in the general area. I was in Osprey, uh, west of Tamiami. What? It's possible. So that's incredible location.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
and it was a mobile home, but it was $525 a month when I got it for $2,500.
Okay.
So it's possible if you're trustworthy and you're in the right place, to live low and then need less, get Section 8 housing. Dee Dee's doing that. Mike was asking me last night, hey, if I got Section 8 housing down here, I could come and go between West Virginia and they got a military house voucher up there and they could get a Section 8 one down here. I'm like, yeah, dude, try it, like, working the system in a way from where you are in the system and getting stable for your family with a home, great, pay the lease for the best spot for your lifestyle. Yes. Save your money and then have more choices open to you, and that does away with a lot of those desires to have more, which is keeping us here reincarnating. Oh, I want more. Oh, well, stay then. It's not that I necessarily wanted more. It's like, okay, I want to drive for the real estate tax exemption. I want to show that people can come from the bottom all the way up. I want to lead by example. The American dream is possible, just not the way they say it. You got to know the truth that you can do it this way. So we become examples. So I'm open about what I've done and where I come from and why I'm doing these things. So great to bring up that topic. That is such a karmic, difficult area that so many people have such investments in.
Yeah.
I would love to say, oh, you can unravel it easily this way, and it's a tough area.
Yeah.
And I'd rather be honest and say it's very difficult. Is it possible there's going to be an exception? Yeah, but you're not going to have I got a list of 20 property exceptions. That's not going to happen. No, that's not going to happen. So instead, where am I going to put my energy? Where am I going to invest my time and money and so on? There's not much time. You're careful about it. Real estate ain't going to change anybody's heart or whatever like that. It's not. You're looking here to change lives and stuff. So, you operate day to day.
Also, the idea that it's just like equity appreciation thing, that's like turning into this last part of the cycle where that's like a hoax. I mean, depending on your market and when you bought and like a lot of variables, like you may be losing money fast because it's leverage too. So
and that's why other vehicles, other products like gold and other asset classes, just being trustworthy and just saying what you just said.
They're way more
liquid.
So
way more liquid, and way less useful, but way more liquid. Way more liquid. So saying these things and being honest allows each person, given their assets and where they want to live and so on, okay, let's do it this way. Based on that, I recommend this, and this is why. It becomes actually pretty easy to help people once you know the truth. I would usually recommend 20% gold, or you'll have your metrics of how you want to help people generally. Oh, but you already have this, so this is why I recommend this for you. You just do the work every day for people, helping them. That's all. They become very good at it. You're already great at it. You're already using it. Trust me. You're already 1% or above, already. So you're only going to get better. Great final questions. Oh my God, let's pull out the big ones.
Whoever asked that,
throw the bear trap out there real quick.
I've been thinking about that.
No, it's a good one. Thank you for that, George. Thank you. Mike, thank you, Martin. Always great to hear you. Alan, around the same time as last time, May 3rd through 11th. Fantastic. I love it. Let's use those working dates from now on. Everyone else, let's use those working dates and everybody check in with their circumstances. Okay. Thank you for that.
I'll be here.
Great. And earlier is better too, because Mike is staying until then, and it's starting to get warm, and he's got to get back to West Virginia. So I like that. Alan, lending without interest sounds better. Yeah, but lending is just not a good idea. It just really, it's not about the interest. It's just like either you have it to give and it's the right circumstance or you don't. It's just really, it should come down to that.
And if it's an investment, you're invested with them, right? To fix whatever that, or like manage whatever that asset
it's
is.
an investment in your karma either way, yours. Okay. Your karma is going to be affected by you putting money out there into something. It's going to come back to you. So you want to make sure you're not screwing up your karma. That's number one. And if it's a sure thing, you're like, here you go. Don't give me anything back. Like, just let me use a simple example, but simple examples are useful, Hey, Mike, thanks for fixing my house. And I have to, of course, tell you, I got to pay you more than you're asking. You're so ridiculous. Let's go eat lunch. No, you're not paying. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not asking him to, hey, you can pay me back. No, here's lunch. I pay for lunch. But I bring it down into a simple thing. I know Mike's trustworthy. He's helping me every day, My God. He's with God. He's helping people. The guy is vetted through and through. I wouldn't lend him money, just take it out of my checkers. No, it's like, I'm not risking it, I know if I give something to you, I helped.
Yeah, right.
I helped. Right. I for sure helped. I made it so you didn't have to go spend a couple hours earning money. I just got you lunch, and now whatever you do with that extra time, you'll spend it wisely, and that karma will come back to me. Mm-hmm. Like Bear Mama had direct agents. Hey, do this, do that. I directly interacted with you. You're a direct agent of mine. And then those people have people they talk to. Indirect agents from the avatar, right? Indirect agents. But if it's coming with the right principles and everything, it all flows backwards. The river of karma flows backwards to your actions. You see, don't lend. Don't give. You know what I mean? Unless it's a sure, give your prayer. That's a sure thing. And let me just introduce this idea in this moment. Financial celibacy. You have to be financially celibacy unless you have the proof. But for sure, what you're going to do is help somebody get to God. You need the proof. Let me see your actions. Well, who are you? You know what I mean? That's why getting the trust and forming this church and forming this community, those people are doing their best for sure. You've been watching them. You can be helpful to them, and it will flow back to you positively. You have to vet everyone else before you do that. You have to do that. That's your work, everyone. So that's always our work, not just, no lending. You can't get back your time. Like you're going to spend your time on who? It's not just about spending money. So think of it like spending your time. Who are you going to spend your time on? Same with money. Who are you going to spend your money on? Like, be careful. If you want to get out of this thing, you got to be very careful. I'd give you the tools to make good decisions. So take whatever time you need to vet whatever situation, whomever in that situation, then it won't work against you. That's good. So, all right, Alan. Frank, Gina and I bought our home with zero interest loan. Right? They were Christians and would never think of charging us interest. Yeah, but being Christian can go farther. It is owned by the trust now. Wonderful. Is renting property for cost plus. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't see how a way to unravel this. I'm sorry. You can ask. I've been asked this every which way. I don't know how to unravel it. I don't. It's about where you put it into the individual. You see what I'm saying? Because you want it to flow back to you karmically. Real estate is just such.
It's also like I view it also as an opportunity cost thing, where you like in your life, depending on what script you have, you're given a certain amount of dollars. Period. Like there is a finite amount of dollars that you have stewardship over in the years that you're alive. So if it's a math equation, then God is watching. How do you allocate every dollar? And like, of course, we're gonna make mistakes in the sense that like you'll just spend money on some bullshit, whatever. That's fine. But it's like, do you learn from it and then optimize, where your capital and obviously your time is spent?
Yes, completely,
So
completely.
so it's like if you have the choice to like, oh, I could put $500,000 in a house that I rent. I mean, you could do a lot with $500,000 to help a lot of people. And now it's just sitting in a house. Some person's renting it. Like, what do you really do? I mean,
Thank
and then you
you.
think you're getting appreciation, all these things, but you're not. You're actually probably losing money realistically.
You're losing karma,
I, I
boys.
mean, I
Getting
mean
out of
that's
here.
more
Most
important than
importantly,
anything. But also the other
also, it's
narratives
not financially
don't really
wise.
make
It's
sense.
not wise financially anymore. Yes, they know we're coming to the end. There's X amount of millions of empty houses, and and they're still building more. Okay, we don't need houses. We need a rule change up in here. We need Armageddon. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything's going to appreciate because they're just printing more dollars. So gold is very liquid. Stocks are very liquid. You listen to Warren Buffett, he's like, no, I'm not in real estate. That stuff takes forever to sell. He's just not in it. No, no, it doesn't make sense. And also, it doesn't make sense in the loop now to get in it unless you need a roof over your head.
And if you have a family, like that's the one exception where
Yeah.
you're protecting family. Okay,
Yeah.
it makes
One
sense.
house. Yeah. Like that. Yeah. Of course.
Certain
That makes sense. We need a home to live in. But beyond that, no, it works against others. So, yes. Angela, next thing, do you all advise owning a physical silver? Yes. U.S. minted silver coins, but they become physically a lot quick. So gold is physically smaller to store. So more gold and some silver because it takes up more space. Okay. Good question. Manny, uh, Angela, I have been in the physical silver arena since '07. My best advice is silver is physical, of course. Uh, Asset assurance, exactly. And US Mint, buy the US Mint. And in the asset, it. Thank you. Thank you. Asset assurance. Will you get rich quick? No, but I feel safer with extra funds in the silver. Thank you. Walk down the street, turn it into crypto, cash. What do you got? Eddie, what's the new currency? Get whatever. Don't matter. U.S. minted pure silver. The Treasury is not going to let anywhere in the USA somebody else put out any other kind of silver or gold coins under U.S. minted strikes. No way. No how. It's good. Asset assurance. Thank you, Manny. Hey, Manny, from Jay. Just moving over to gold Buffalo U.S. minted coins. If like I said, for physically getting it into a smaller physically space, still liquid, I recommend that. Yeah. Thank you. Manny, I have moved some of it, but keep silver as easier to barter with local goods. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Definitely. Definitely. Some of each for different reasons. Given your situation, he's able to use it physically. Fantastic. Fantastic. Thanks for sharing that, Manny, your expertise. Thanks for sharing that. Mike, that is extremely eye-opening with real estate. Thank you so much. No problem. I, until we know the truth, no one can logically say anything against them. Like, well, let's unravel this. Like, it's tough, man. Don't be like the bankers. Don't do that. That they're not getting out of here for sure. So carefully stay away from their activities. That's the best. Don't they lend? Don't lend. They're staying. Don't stay. You see. So the simple principles will serve us best. Thanks everyone for being here. Let's gather next time, and we'll see about those dates for the pilgrimage next time. Okay, think about that. Let's get your feedback. Okay, come next time with some feedback. Thank you, Martin, for being here. God bless you, Martin. And look at he's trying to work out his service better every day, just like you all are. We're all engaged in that. It's wonderful to share this with others, So thank you all are doing the same out there. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next week. God bless you all.
Bye, everyone.